This weekend that we are moving into, we are likely to see major political realignments and developments in as far as the politics of coalition parties is concerned. And a serious reorganization is going to be seen in the politics of opposition in this country. Welcome to the Bold Analysis. My name is Frank. The decision by ODM to leave its opposition course and join Kenya Kwanza in pushing its mandate through to 2027 is seriously going to have a very big impact and a very big precedent that will set now the stage towards 2027 politics. And if there is a time that maybe the administration of Kenya Kwanza needs to work for the Kenyans, it is this year. And maybe beyond this year, or just from this year, the 2027 politics are starting to take shape. And everything is rolling in motion. Of course, before we go into that, I've seen the Azimio remaining coalition partners. I call them remaining because I've said that Azimio is on deathbed and will probably be buried this weekend. So the other remaining Azimio partners have released a press statement that I want to share with you. Before I talk about that statement, I've seen also Martha Karua release a statement in form of a letter to the press that I want to read to you. That notice to exit from the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance, that is from NAK Kenya. Kindly take note that our stay in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance is not tenable due to the prevailing political developments. As NAK Kenya, by way of this letter, we are giving notice to exit the coalition as stipulated in the exit clause or clauses in the coalition agreement. This notice is effective from the date of this letter, which is the 25th day of July 2024. The letter has been written and copied to Junet Mohammed, the Secretary General of NAK, the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Secretariat, and sent to Parliament buildings. Of course, Junet Mohammed had to be notified because he's the minority whip in the National Assembly. So, such is the level of the serious political realignments that I'm talking about that you are going to start to witness, starting from just this weekend. Of course, when I was just moving to shoot this, I've seen a caucus of Western MPs that have seen the face of Cleophas Malala, the SG to UDA. I've seen the Tawe Movement brand ambassador, that is the governor of Trans Nzoia County, George Natembeya. I've seen the ODM SG, Edwin Sifuna. I've seen, I think that is Caleb Amisi, yes. And I've seen also Rachid Echesa. It was a caucus of MPs or leaders, rather, from Western Kenya who have convened in some hotel here in Nairobi to talk about the politics of the Western region.
Parties, ODM, to his cabinet. With this move, he has attempted to destroy multi-party democracy and seize control of the parliamentary system. Additionally, Ruto is working to silence the voices of the opposition, both inside and outside of Parliament. Ruto's continued cannibalization of political parties. He's done this to Jubilee in the past. He's now doing it to ODM. Goes against the letter and spirit of the Constitution of Kenya. It also offends the NADICO report, the National Dialogue Committee report. We believe that Ruto is an existential threat to our democracy and must be resisted, even as we say Ruto must go. Kenyans desire genuine reforms, sound leadership and openness in the administration of public affairs. Cosmetic procedures and incompetence, the cycling of Ruto by Ruto will not help in any way. Number 5, we reiterate that we will neither support nor take part in a proposed broad-based government of national unity. We believe that it is the greatest betrayal of Kenyans, and especially Gen Zs and the millennials. there were over 60 young Kenyans and the other 75 who were exercising their constitutional right under Article 37 to peacefully assemble, demonstrate and picket, were shot and killed by police using live bullets under the command of Nairobi police boss Adamson Bugei. Hundreds more suffer from permanent damaged bodies as a result of police violence, including unlawful abductions and kidnappings. Let us make it clear that any person joining Ruto's regime has in effect endorsed the killing, maiming, abductions, and torture of innocent Kenyans. Let it be known that those members who have accepted their nomination to join Ruto's cabinet are doing so in their individual capacities. As a coalition, we affirm our
tumekutana hapa leo viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa kutoka mirengo mbalimbali, lakini leo tumekutana kama viongozi wa jamii kutoka mkoa wa Magharibi kujadili masuala ambayo yanahusu jamii yetu na masuala mengine ambayo ni ipuka ambayo yamekuwa yanatendeka katika taifa la Kenya, kutathmini kamilifu nafasi yetu katika hii serikali na katika taifa la Kenya iko ipi. Na pia tumeona sisi kama viongozi wa sasa kwamba kuna pengo la uongozi katika upande ule wa Magharibi. Kuna wale viongozi ambao wamekuwa kwa kule mbele, lakini tunaona kwamba masuala ya jamii hawayaangalii kikamilifu, na ndiposa tumejitokeza sisi kama viongozi ambao tuko sasa tuanze ule mjadala, alafu tukitoka hapa kuna mipango mingine ambayo tumepanga ili mjadala uendelee na watu pia waendelee kuhisi kwamba wao katika taifa la Kenya na pia katika nafasi katika serikali.
Okay. Yeah. Kwa hivyo hii ni chama mpya mnaunda ama
hatuwezi kuwa tunaunda chama kipya, ni mchakato. Na unajua kama viongozi mnakutana kupata lunch tu wakati mwingine
leaders tufanye analysis na pia postmortem, kwa sababu kuna emerging political alignments, na tukasema tuone ile interest ya jamii yetu iko wapi. Sababu tumefanya hivyo ni kwa sababu wale viongozi ambao wamekuwa tunaona hawajatuelekeza vizuri. Hiyo ndio ukweli wa maneno, na tukasema kwamba tukuje sisi kama viongozi wa the new generation tuanze kusemezana, na tumekubaliana kwa kauli moja kwamba hatuwezi jiongelea vile sisi tunataka. Ile shida ambayo tumekuwa nayo ni kwamba wale viongozi ambao wamekuwa hapa juu wamekuwa kiongea mambo yao kibinafsi, alafu wanasema wana represent community. Sisi tumesema kabla tu decide kitu chochote leo, lazima turudi kwa watu wetu, tusikie wananchi na watu wa mkoa wa Magharibi wanataka nini. So tumekubaliana kwamba tunaenda kuwa na mkutano wa viongozi grassroots leaders wa mkoa wa Magharibi yote, county zetu 5.
As they have said, we have very many challenges in this country, and one of the things that I hold very clearly in my head is that as leaders you cannot just sit and do nothing. When there are challenges that are facing the people, I think it is incumbent upon us to come together, to reason together and try to see how we can be able to provide solutions to some of the problems we have. As you know, even the governor and these members will tell you, Western has also seen a lot of the Gen Z protests, and they are raising critical issues that need to be addressed. And it is our hope and desire that out of this consultation and the meeting that has been proposed in Kakamega, we can all agree on what it is that we need to do as leaders living in this time right now when the leadership is upon us, to be able to provide some solutions to the people of Kenya.
Such is the serious precedence that this thing is taking, and such is the serious speed that this thing is going to involve in the next few days. But I have some faulty observations with the presser that has been issued by the other Azimio remaining partners. Now, from that press statement by Kalonzo Musyoka, there are things that are coming out clearly. You know, if there is a moment that Kalonzo Musyoka should stand up, and be counted as a strong candidate and a strong contender for 2027 general elections, is during this time that we are starting to witness wrangles, shift in power patterns within political parties. Because it is true, the decision by some leaders or by ODM to front its members for consideration of the cabinet is also having a serious impact on the unity taste. Is giving it them a unity acid taste as ODM party. I've just seen also Oscar Sudi advise Edwin Sifuna that since he's a very good lawyer and all that, if he feels that he's betrayed by the move by the ODM to propose its members to join the cabinet, then he should team up with Kalonzo Musyoka. Such is the seriousness of whatever we're talking about. But I have a fault with the press statement that Kalonzo and the team released. You know, one thing that they must recognize is that they should stop living in denial. Azimio is dead from where I am. They should now take this opportunity and move past this. And they should also stop being experts in issues of press statements. It is a time that now their followers and people who incline to their party ideologies now want serious actions from them, just as the one that Senior Counsel Martha Karua has taken. Exit, re-strategize and withdraw and come back in the shortest time possible. Don't leave your followers guessing on what next steps for you. In fact, if there is a time that Kalonzo should be busy right now, should even be sending maybe the representatives of his to read those press statements on his behalf. If it is indeed true that he wants to be a serious presidential contender. I've seen that they're saying that this is the next government. One thing that we recognize is that coalition parties, and mostly coalitions, work on specific election dates in this country. Then towards the next dates of elections, such as the next date, which is 2027, we start witnessing serious realignments and reformations. That is what is happening. And I think that is where Kalonzo has been missing it over time. I wish he could be seizing on gaps the way Raila, in as much as people are saying that Raila has betrayed them right now, but he should be seizing on such gaps. But his gap doesn't have to be going to work with the government, but rather his gap should be positioning himself ideally in regards to the next general election. And those realignments, he should start forming those political partnerships like right now. Start seeking friends outside Wiper, outside Azimio. Don't stick to a dead political vehicle in the hope that it will resurrect. Usipojipanga hii Kenya, utapangwa. You see, the way the likes of, I think it was Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi the other time, they were at some point muted on whether they are in Azimio, they are on their own, or they were in Kenya Kwanza. They got themselves absorbed by Kenya Kwanza. So, that is what Kalonzo should emulate. And walking along that particular point maybe might pay off for him come 2027. Other thing, this is the moment also for Kalonzo and his friends remaining in Azimio to rise up, be the official opposition, and court maybe the Gen Zs, court the other section of the population, and try to offer to them alternative voice that they so much need at now. Because that decision by ODM has restructured, has redrawn the politics of this country. So people are looking, the people who feel betrayed by that move, they're looking for an alternative. They're trying to weigh, is our support towards this other particular candidate worth it? And what is he going to offer for us? Or what is she going to offer for us? So this is a moment to seek those political realignments and partnerships. And of course, there have been talks that Kalonzo might consider working with Rigathi Gachagua. This is the moment. And by that, by extension, maybe reach out to the likes of Uhuru Kenyatta. I believe Uhuru Kenyatta, if it is indeed true that he had a problem with this government, then that problem must be majorly with the President Ruto, and not with Kalonzo Musyoka, of course, who was on their side in Azimio. So they should resort to those drawing boards. There is nothing wrong totally at this point with Kalonzo leading the opposition. Of course, I've seen him say that he doesn't and is not interested in being the Attorney General, or is not being offered that position, he should not accept that. There is no problem with him leading the opposition. This is the time that Kalonzo Musyoka needs to step up as the opposition figure and offer the alternative leadership. By now, he should start running a narrative that can restore or can resonate rather with the Gen Zs. It is true, those Gen Zs are leaderless, all those less that they mention. But if at all they are interested in pushing for the interests of this country, I believe they will push through their strategies that they've used. But strategies need redrawing, they need retracking. But in this instance, they need a leader too. Maybe some people will criticize that, oh, they don't need a leader at this particular point. Leadership will be taken over, will be infiltrated by the government. But then, the leadership that I'm talking about in this instance is not a leader who calls himself as a leader of the Gen Z. It's a leader who can offer ideologies, thoughts that resonate with what the Gen Zs want. Then with that, they'll feel like they've created a political friendship. So this is the moment for Kalonzo to run on a particular agenda. He must find some agenda right now to run on. And seek, even if it is seeking the opportunity to play the victim here, it can or might work well for him. Also, the other thing is that he can take advantage of the already seemingly divided ODM. Now leaders in ODM, I've seen Honorable Babu Owino talk, I've seen Edwin Sifuna talk, I've seen Caleb Amisi talk. These people, some of them, they were caught unaware. They were caught unaware by that decision to forward names of some of the members, and not just members, senior members of the party for consideration for cabinet nominees. So, even to them, they might be with the party. Of course, they know that now they have to be with the party because nominated them to some elective seats. But in real sense, they are tracking. That is where now Kalonzo should come in and take advantage of the same situation. Of course, we are going to see a serious rebirth in ODM, in as far as the politics of the ODM is concerned. Because Ruto had some mathematical formula here. By nominating John Mbadi, the chair of ODM, to the cabinet, by nominating Joho to the cabinet, the deputy party leader, by nominating Wycliffe Oparanya, deputy party leader to the cabinet, by having Raila contest for the AUC seat, and all those decisions that have been happening, all those three coupled together, therefore, about five, yes, also we have Opiyo Wandayi, the leader of minority in the National Assembly. All these people will have to resign from their positions. Raila will have to resign from his position as the party leader if he is going to seek a mandate as the AUC seat chairperson. That is it. Now it means that ODM will need a new group of leaders. It will indeed need a new group of leaders who will come with a new ODM. But anyway, the problem that we have in Kenya is that political parties seem to be property of the people who started them. That's why a political party like ODM, when you mention ODM, the name Raila comes up immediately. If you mention Wiper, the name Kalonzo Musyoka comes up immediately. Same, if you mention UDA, it is William Ruto's name that comes up immediately. It is not, for example, as the case is in the West. If you mention the Democrat, there are so many Democrats. And the people who even contend for presidential elections on tickets such as for parties like Democrats or the Republicans, they are not necessarily the party leaders, but just party members who have been fronted by the delegates to go and represent the party in the various elective positions. In all this that is happening currently, the biggest beneficiary in all this confusion that we're witnessing seems to be Ruto. One thing that he can credit himself to is that he's used one stone to almost kill three birds. Azimio is now seeming to be in shambles. ODM is pulling from different sides and reading from different scripts. And Raila If Raila is going to be the AUCC chairperson, then maybe the chances of seeing him at the 2027 general elections are very much minimal. I've also seen the Western MPs, as I've mentioned to you, have also come. They're trying to draft a caucus of their own. This could be Kalonzo's perfect moment. Reach out to them, talk to them, court them. Thank you for watching. That marks the end of our analysis.